Welcome to the 2022 Making a Difference Awards here at Northwest State Community College tonight. Tonight on the program, we're going to get a chance to talk to a number of the folks that make this happen, along with all the award winners. Should be a fun night, and we're happy to have you out here watching TV 26 tonight. With me right now is Peter Beck, and he is with the Northwest State Foundation. And you know what? It is a wonderful, wonderful night, and I'm sure you guys look forward to this each and every year.
Yes, fortunately, this year we're able to attend and bring others into the green carpet event, as the last 2 years we were not able to do that because of, naturally, the COVID situation here. But this year, finally, we get to have our silent auction. We get to recognize the people that do so much for our community, the people in our communities, and it's really nice to be able to be back here.
You know, there's so many groups that make a difference here in Northwest Ohio. How do you honestly whittle it down to just one or two every year?
Well, to be truthful with you, I'm not directly involved with that. That is another committee that's part of our foundation that we get names and they do research on the individuals, and then they pick who the individual, organization, or company that best suits for a Making a Difference award. So,
yeah. You know what? Northwest State has been making a difference for a long time, but boy, when the foundation got going and you guys got the steam going like Robin has gotten, and Todd, man, this has just grown exponentially, hasn't it?
It sure has. Just to get an example of this is that this year we were able to give out over $1.4 million in scholarships to over 300 students. And that's just tremendous. And for the last 12 years, we've given over $7 million in scholarships to our community. And you know what's really important about that? Because these students are who we end up hiring, and they're in our workforce. So that is what's so important about us having a strong foundation, a strong college, and to be able to do these things for our community as our Making a Difference Award recipients today. It's really hand in hand of what we're doing and what they do, and it just makes so much of a difference in our community and for others here.
No doubt about that. And the award winners tonight, all three are making a difference in Northwest Ohio.
Absolutely, we're so proud of them, and that they were picked, and they really do deserve our award this evening.
Peter, it is fun to have everybody back in person, like you said. I love your green Northwest tie. I need one of those. How's that? Can I work a deal for one of those? Will we auction one of those off tonight?
I don't know if we're going to auction one off, but I know that lady right there, Robin Wilcox, could probably get you one.
Peter Beck and the foundation making a difference for us here tonight in Northwest State Community College. With me now is the president of Northwest State Community College, Todd Hernandez. Todd, what a big night this is.
Oh, it's a wonderful night. It's the biggest night of the year for our foundation and for our students.
You know what? You guys have had to do this virtually for the last couple of years. It has to feel good to do this in person.
Yeah, I will say I'm so grateful for all of those that continued to donate during the COVID isolation and virtually, but coming together, it's so nice to be back on campus with all of the donors, and I'm excited.
There are so many people, I'm sure, that make this all work, okay? But a lot of the donors, a lot of the folks that are going to win awards tonight, and all the folks behind the scene, too.
Yeah, and Northwest State, we're one team, and it was all hands on deck all week long to completely transform the first floor of the E-building into a very nice black tie event kind of evening.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you have to be proud of where you are right now and where you're going in the future.
Absolutely. Northwest State has thrived throughout the pandemic. We're on the other end of it, and we're doing very well, and I'm excited for the future.
You know what? It is a beautiful campus. I know you've expanded quite a bit. I know there's a new facility basically down in the Van Wert area nowadays, and tonight one of the recipients is from Van Wert too.
They are, and we're excited to be getting down into Van Wert. They're part of our official service area, but we really haven't had an opportunity to service them well. And by purchasing a facility, a 50,000 square foot campus, we're going to put a full service campus in there, and we're really looking forward to being part of the Van Wert community.
I have held you up enough. It is time to go in and celebrate today.
Yeah, I'm going to go spend some money with my wife. Welcome. How great is it that we're able to come together again? It's been several years. I'm really excited, and I'm happy that you're all here tonight. So welcome to Northwest State. Earlier, before the program started, I was out talking to the crowd, and a former board trustee of the college. I've been president since April 1st of last year. So I'm a little over a year in. The research says that the first-time CEOs get fired in their first 2 years. I've made it halfway, so I'm excited about that. But a former trustee said, "What's been your biggest surprise?" As president for a year now, I said, "It's how little power I actually have." My administrative assistant tells me where to go, how long to stay there, who to talk to. My cabinet tells me what to say. And even tonight, the speech, I brought my dissertation on cybersecurity and manufacturing. I was planning on talking about it for about 30 minutes. And the director of facilities, Robin, tells me I get 2 minutes for my welcome speech. So you're all being spared cybersecurity. No, so seriously, welcome. I'd like to start with some thank yous. We have several board members from the college here tonight. I want to start with them. Northwest State wouldn't be who we are without their selfless leadership that they provide to the college and their volunteers. So thank you for that. I can assure you that this room and the hallway looked nothing like this 48 hours ago. And I can't even name who did it because it was the entire team. One of the things that we do at Northwest State is we come together. It was all hands on deck for the last 48 hours to transform this room and get all of the nice gifts out there on tables and all that work. So thank you to the entire Northwest State team. And finally, thank you for being here tonight. You are making a difference. You'll hear from a student speaker later on, so I'm not going to belabor that. What I will say, though, is that we are a much better investment than the stock market. So every dollar you spend tonight, when our students use that, they'll get $3.30 back in earned wages for life. So every dollar every student spends with us, they get $3.30 back. And taxpayers get $2.60 back. So spend your money. There's an intermission. Go out there and up your bids. So thank you for being here tonight.
With me right now is Adriana Faust, and she is a student from Northwest State Community College. Adriana, this is a very important night for a lot of people, but for a student, this is the night when we get all the money for the scholarships. And I'm sure that was a very good day when they told you you were going to get a scholarship to come to school.
Definitely was, yes. Very appreciated.
So what did you study while you were here?
I'm studying office administration.
Very good. And what grade are you in right now?
I'm in my second year.
Yeah, I had the same thing. My second year went for like 10 years, though, okay, back in the day. That was a long time, though, ago, you know? What has it been like being at school here at Northwest?
I'm really enjoying it. I've kept a 4.0 I've been in my fourth semester. So.
A 4.0? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't quite have that 4.0 in any of my semesters. That's why I kept coming back for the next one.
I work very hard.
Yeah, I bet you do. There's no doubt. What led you to come to Northwest State?
I was in a bad relationship, and I never had a job or anything, so I really needed to get my life going for my kids. So I'm doing everything for my kids to better myself. So. Well,
I'll tell you what, that is wonderful, and that is the neat thing about life. You can start out with some problems, but you can overcome them a lot of times and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your life and career.
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Adriana, we're looking forward to your speech tonight, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
All right, our student speaker tonight is Adriana Faust, and she is an office administration major at Northwest State and a recipient of the Carol L. Engel Scholarship. Her path to Northwest State included almost overwhelming obstacles, but her perseverance and strength are remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Adriana Faust.
Where you start does not mean that is where you will finish. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I may not have the traditional path to college, but I'm right where I need to be now. My name is Adriana Faust. I'm majoring in office administration. It's taken me a lot longer to further my education than what I wanted it to, but not because I didn't want it to. Sometimes life has other plans. Things don't always go the way we envision or the way we as a society expect it to. Sometimes there are obstacles, some that most never think could happen. Abuse, neglect, and a loss of true childhood are things that I have experienced but are not who I am. My dad was an abusive alcoholic who would beat my mom for fun and sexually abuse her to entertain his friends. When my mom finally left with my sister and I, she got with another man who wasn't a good character. She gave my sister to her dad and me to my grandma. I still remember very clearly the day my mom called and said she wanted me back. I didn't know how bad things were with her until shortly after. She had gotten addicted to meth with her new boyfriend. We were living in a shanty trailer in the middle of a small country town. At times, we didn't have running water and rarely had a steady flow of food. My mom and her boyfriend were scrappers, picking up any type of metal they could find to recycle for money to pay for their drugs and the bills. We would travel in beat-down trucks that barely ran to pick up scrap metal anywhere we could. I'd be tasked with walking the town for little littered cans, sometimes being told to walk the tracks to pick up the stray railroad ties to fill the washers and dryers we had gotten that week. All of my toys and clothes were found from dumpsters or trash at the side of the road. My least favorite was Christmas time, when everyone threw away their non-working Christmas lights. Most people associate Christmas with decorating the tree and opening Christmas presents, but that was never my experience. It was my job from 5 to 10 years old to cut and strip the wires from the Christmas lights. Sometimes my mom and her boyfriend would go on days-long drug binges, leaving me home alone to fend for myself. And from kindergarten up, I would get myself up daily and on the bus for school. But I didn't mind that. I loved school. It was my escape and where I flourished and always made sure to do my best. I hated coming home. It was always something crazy. I remember getting off the bus and seeing everything from the house strewn across the yard. My mom would go on tangents thinking bugs were crawling in our skin and throw everything out to burn. It was really embarrassing to have everyone on the bus see it out the windows, and really traumatic being forced to watch as all of my favorite stuff was burned. If I got in trouble for simple things like forgetting to shut my bedroom light off, it was being spanked with the wooden board that had holes drilled through it until I stopped crying, or sat in the chair in the corner from the time I woke up until it was time for bed. It was a traumatic childhood enough, but my mom's boyfriend was also sexually abusing me. An older girl on the bus one day asked me if he ever had. I was 10 in 4th grade. It had been happening for years. That girl told her guidance counselor, who told mine, and when I got off the bus that day, the cops were there, items strewn through the yard, and there he stood, handcuffed. But even with the recorded calls to my mom, where he admitted to it and bribed her with money, all he got was probation. And my mom would go back to his home daily for months after dropping me off to school. I resented her for a long time for that. Unfortunately, home life got chaotic again when I turned 12. I wasn't handling the trauma correctly. I started experimenting with drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and skipping school. My mom lost complete control of me, and I ended up in foster care. When I got home after foster care, I still did everything that I did before I left, and I got a new boyfriend. I was 13, and he was 22. After a few years, he got a job, and we moved into a small apartment. I wasn't allowed to be on a lease because I was a minor, and then I got pregnant. I was 16, and he was 25. He was scared. He couldn't go to any doctor's appointments or anything of that sort. We had stopped using drugs and started our family, keeping out of the limelight of anyone else. He was mentally and physically abusive. I couldn't have friends because he didn't want anyone around me in fear of them knowing how old we were. He had got a good job, and I thought things started looking up. I didn't realize at the time how horrible any of this was. We had our daughter, who was born 2 months premature, and we got married a month after I turned 18. Not for any logical reason. He was tired of my mom claiming me on the tax return, so we got married 2 days before the end of the year so he could claim me. He was working 3rd shift, 7 days a week, a lot of 12-hour days. He was always tired and angry. I didn't have my license. I didn't have any friends. I wasn't allowed to have social media. He wouldn't let me work. He masked it mostly under, "You couldn't handle going to work. I'm the provider, so you can stay home." But in reality, he didn't want me out of the house. He didn't want me realizing that I could do any of these things without him. Then we had our second child, and a few months after his birth, my husband got suspended from work. Turns out he wasn't sober like I thought he was, and failed a drug test at work for multiple drugs. It was a lot to take in, and then finding out that he also wasn't being faithful. When I turned 22, I finally got my license. I had never called the cops on his abuse until the last time, when I genuinely thought he was going to kill me and the kids. I had caught him cheating again and told him that I was done and I was leaving. After a chaotic event, I was finally able to leave as I thought he slept, but he ran outside as I pulled out of the driveway and jumped on the car. I had hidden his illegal guns in the camper outside, and he was looking for them. I was terrified. I called the cops, telling them I just wanted to make sure I could get my kids and leave. It's not that I was naive or I didn't see what he was doing. I did. I just ignored it because I thought that was easier than starting over. I thought I can be unhappy forever because he's taking care of me, which is more than I ever had growing up. A sense of security with food, a home, clothes, and stuff. Walking on eggshells in the place that I was supposed to feel the most comfortable, not knowing if the thing that made him happy today would make him angry now. I always felt like I had failed. I took his abuses as if I had done something wrong, but I was growing up, and years were going by, and I realized I wasn't happy. I didn't want my children growing up or thinking that any of this was okay. Watching Dad throw Mom around like a rag doll. I grew up watching this, and I wanted to end the cycle. But I stayed again. I was scared. I had been taught by this man who basically raised me for half of my life, which he made sure to tell me, that I wasn't capable. I could never do anything on my own. I thought I had nowhere to go and that I would fail, and that I would never be able to handle work or take care of my kids. I was afraid that he was right. I started preparing myself mentally, telling myself that I could do this. I had overcome an extreme amount of stressful times throughout my life. Why would this be any different? What was stopping me other than the words of a man who was trying to constantly belittle me for his own gain? I applied for college and got in to start January 2021. I was miserable and unsafe in my own home. And when I was finally in a state of mind where I knew that I could do this, I did. I left. And it was hard. And it still is hard. But I'm slowly gaining my footing. I've maintained a solid 4.0 throughout my first 4 semesters in college. I went from working my first job at Dollar General to being the main office administrator of a small general dentistry within a year. I found a partner who supports me and lifts me up every day and helps me through my trauma and mental health. And most importantly, I'm happy and I'm breaking the cycle.
With me right now is Matt Monroe from Bard Manufacturing in Bryan. And Matt, congratulations to you and your company.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
You're kind of filling in today because I hear somebody's having a special birthday.
I am. Mr. Steele is celebrating a major milestone birthday today.
Yes. Well, and should we give that out or should we allow that to just remain anonymous right now, as they say?
I think the cat's out of the bag.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And it's the big 6-0, isn't it?
Big 6-0. That's right.
That is a wonderful situation. You know, Bard does so many wonderful things around Northwest Ohio, and you guys have been here for so long, so generations now have benefited from Bards. What have you guys done this year that made you stand out maybe to the committee?
Yeah, so there's a variety of things that Bard Manufacturing and the Family Foundation has done throughout the years, actually. And, you know, I think one of the most memorable things that we've done over the years is to celebrate our centennial anniversary in 2014. The Family Foundation made a special contribution for a fountain, the Bard Centennial Fountain at the Williams County Courthouse Square.
And if they have not seen that yet, they need to get down on a beautiful day and watch that fountain because it really does set the whole courthouse square off.
Oh, it does. It's beautiful.
It really does. There's no doubt. What is the future of Bard and also manufacturing in Northwest Ohio?
Yeah, so the outlook for Bard in Northwest Ohio and Bard in general is fantastic. We are having, despite the economic situation, we're having another record year from a sales standpoint. Our biggest challenge now is to keep up with demand and hiring employees to keep our production lines and our office staff moving.
It is that way. I'll let you know, I just had to replace a Bard furnace and air conditioning unit here just a week ago, and they were 60 plus years old. So hopefully that standard will continue into the future as well.
That's great. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that it lasted that long. That's always our goal.
We always kept saying, oh, just one more year, and it just kept giving us one more year until the other day. Hey, thank you very much for your time and all the wonderful things you guys do with your foundation and your company.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.
In 1914, Dale Bard launched Bard Manufacturing Company in Bryan, Ohio. Today, Bard Manufacturing is an international leader in the commercial heating and cooling industry, known for its integrity, quality products, and exceptional customer service. They're a fourth-generation family-owned business, with the fifth generation heavily involved in a strategy and day-to-day operations of the company. Bard Manufacturing Company has 3 facilities in Bryan, Ohio, Madison, Georgia, and Salito, Mexico. Throughout the century in the industry, they have consistently innovated, progressed, and adapted to the changing needs of the customers. Research and development take center stage at Bard Manufacturing as they continue to see ways to proactively improve climate control systems. Bard Manufacturing Company is active in the community, supporting the YMCA of Williams County, United Way of Williams County Humane Society, Relay for Life, student scholarships, and other endeavors with the Bryan Area Foundation, Habitat for Humanity, Bryan Parks and Rec, and many others. They give of their time, their resources, and with their hard work, they are truly making a difference. And I will also give you this testimonial. I just changed a 60-year-old Bard furnace and air conditioning unit this past weekend. So do they last, and do they do wonderful things? Yes, indeed they do. So let's watch the video now for Bard Manufacturing.
In 1906, Dale Bard, who started Bard Manufacturing, he went to San Francisco after the great earthquake to learn about sheet metal working and ductwork. And then he came back to Northwest Ohio and shared that technology and patented his first oil furnace in about the 1930s. And then from there, we've grown to be the world's largest manufacturer of wall-mounted equipment.
Philanthropy is a core value at Bard Manufacturing. In fact, since our company's inception, Dale Bard, our company founder, felt it very important to support the community that supported him, his family, and his employees.
I came from Colorado, so love does weird things to you. It moves you from Colorado to Ohio. But Bryan has become home, and it's easy for it to become home because of the people here.
They show action, they show life, they show investment in our community, and when Bard does something, they do something all in. They not only help the easiest part's writing a check, but they're there volunteering. They're there rolling their sleeves up and doing the work with us.
I think it goes back to our the Bard Steel family vision, which is basically we're in it for the long haul. We want to create jobs for our neighbors, and we want to leave the community a better place when we're finished.
I'm the 4th generation. Our son James, who recently joined the business, is the 5th generation, and so far there's not a 6th generation. But every decision we make is based on being here for the 6th generation.
The Bryan Development Foundation worked with the Bard family to bring the Centennial Fountain downtown to our courthouse square. It kind of celebrates our cultural heritage as the Fountain City in Bryan, and working with them hand in hand in the design concept, they had a lot of resources on hand. They had an idea of what they wanted.
As far as a brick and mortar project, how have we impacted the community? My favorite project that we've done at any of our facilities is the Bard Centennial Fountain. And I think it's because that brings a lot of joy to families when they go and visit the fountain. When you come into Bryan and you see that fountain, it gives you a good feeling.
From a financial aspect, we give high school scholarships to the area. Been involved in facilities like YMCA renovations, the high school field house, the senior center, and that type of thing.
One of the things that come to mind is part of our company culture. We say that Bard would really like to make our campsites better than when we found them.
I think growing up, our family has always believed, especially my dad, Jim Bard, that the more you give, the more you get. And I think that is so true. Giving is just part of our DNA. It's part of trying to make each facility where our manufacturing locations are, to make that a better place for the families and for the communities.
There's a stack of lumber right now in our lobby where our employees painted the wood lumber for a Habitat for Humanity build to donate to that. They do an Adopt a Family every year at Christmas. And when you see how important giving back is to your employees, it's easy to prioritize that as a company.
The family that I work for, the best way to describe it, and this is going to sound trite, but they're just good people. They're good, caring people. They care so much about not only our employees and our customers, but they have a deep care for the communities in which we live and work.
Yeah, I think it's important, on behalf of all the organizations, the individuals, the families that are impacted by Bard, to simply say thank you.
On behalf of Bard Manufacturing, Bill and I would like to thank you so much for this wonderful award. We're very honored by it, and we wish so much we could be here this evening to celebrate with all of you. Someone in our family has a very monumental birthday, so we'll be with our family together for a vacation.
It's not that monumental.
Yes, it is monumental. 6-0 is a very monumental birthday.
Gee, thanks for telling everybody how old. But seriously, we're very humbled by this award, and we thank you for the recognition on behalf of the Steele family, the Bard family, and all our Bard employees. We thank you so much for honoring us this way, and we wish we could be there, but we hope you understand. So thank you.
Bill and Pam Steele are unable to be here tonight, and in fact, Bill's celebrating a major birthday milestone, and I'm on to Jim. So before the event, I had the opportunity to interview on camera with Jim, and Jim had mentioned, cameras rolling, Jim had mentioned, I understand Bill and Pam won't be able to be here tonight because they're celebrating a major milestone birthday for Bill. And I know what Jim was onto. He wanted me to share the age, right, of Bill. And I responded by saying, I think the cat's out of the bag. And Jim took the bait and he said, yeah, 60, huh? I'm like, oh, I'm glad you said that instead of me. So anyways, the cat's out of the bag. I asked Bill and Pam, I know you really want to be here. And what can I share with the folks when I accept the award on your behalf? And their response was exactly what I imagined it would be, knowing Bill and Pam as people. And their first response was, please express our gratitude and appreciation for the recognition for what we do as a family foundation, as well as a company in Northwest Ohio. But here's the thing. The second thing that they said is, this is exactly what I thought I would hear, and that is, if what we do as a family foundation inspires people to devote their time and talent, or even financially, in support of the community, that would be our greatest hope. And we would just love for that. Bill and Pam and the family are, like I said in the video, they are amazing people. And there's no other way to say it than good people. And as an employee of Bard Manufacturing, I'm honored here to be able to represent them. So thank you for the recognition. Thank you for the award. We really appreciate it.
With us now is Seth Baker. He is with the Van Wert Foundation, one of our honored groups here tonight. And Seth, it is one of those nights, you work hard, your organization does a lot of good things, and then all of a sudden somebody recognizes it and brings you over here. Congratulations tonight. Tell me a little bit about your Van Wert Foundation.
Thank you. We've been around since 1925, focused on creating a well-resourced and thriving quality of life for our community. And as I was prepping for this, I thought it's a little bit odd that we get recognized for something that is intrinsically true to our DNA as an organization. And so that's simply what we're focused on is doing amazing work for our community, that work that our donors basically directed us to do, and we're responsible for being creative in how that's done.
Are there some projects this year that maybe stood out to you?
We've dove into a couple different things. The first one I would talk about is rethinking how we attract our students to stay in our community once they go to college. And so we've been focusing on a loan repayment program. So if a student comes back to live and work in Van Wert, if they're from Van Wert originally, then we'd offer to pay off a portion of their student loans. And then as we started to really dive into that, we started talking about, okay, well, what kind of a community are they actually going to come back to? What kind of quality of life and quality of place is there going to be? And so we dove into something called impact investing, which is when we really shifted our investment assets off of Wall Street and right into the heart and core of our community and started actually buying buildings. We have about 50 properties that we've acquired in the last several years to do a complete rehabilitation and restoration of the core historic assets of our community. And in turn, providing places for them to live, to shop, to eat, the quality of place that our students really want.
So as I go down 127 nowadays, and I notice all of the construction work going on downtown, that is your responsibility.
And the staff's responsibility. So we've got a great team of experts. We're by all means not experts at redevelopment, and so we've hired a lot of consultants who can help guide us through, and then a lot of staff who are just deeply knowledgeable about the work that they've been tasked with.
You know what? I think that's a wonderful idea, because that is the question for the last 20 years that people have been asking up here. How do we keep these young folks after they graduate from Northwest State to stay right here in Northwest Ohio?
Yeah, engage them and give them things that they would encounter elsewhere.
You know what? I'm glad I finally found that answer. Seth, congratulations to you and your group tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Our second recipient tonight of the Making a Difference Award for 2022 is the Wert County Foundation. The Wert County Foundation transforms quality of life by supporting purposeful endowments, inspiring collective growth, and building initiatives for the future. The foundation concept started locally in 1925 when two local bankers, Frank Leslie and D. Ledoit Brumbach, met. Their vision was for estates to be used to benefit people in Van Wert County, mirroring what a foundation in Cleveland was doing at the time. Thanks in part to their hard work, the foundation was incorporated in September of that year. Through its donors and competitive grants program, the Van Wert County Foundation provides funding to nonprofits. Annually, the foundation provides between $4 and $5 million in funding to area nonprofits, including numerous student scholarships. Van Wert County and its surrounding area is fortunate to have a strong and vibrant nonprofit community. Supporting nonprofits and providing them with the resources they need to fulfill their mission is one of the important ways the foundation works across the area. With nearly 100 years of service to the community and bright horizons ahead, the Van Wert County Foundation is definitely poised to continue making a difference for generations to come. Our second award winner, the Van Wert County Foundation.
We're soon going to have our 100th anniversary of our formation. And at this point, I think it's safe to say our endowment has exceeded $100 million. So that has really provided quite a bit of capital for us to deploy in the community to support just a myriad of projects that we've been involved in.
They have a plan for every piece of what they do. And a lot of that, what they do seems to start with what's the best thing for the community? How can we use our resources in a way that reach the most people?
For a long time, we've been paying for our students to leave town forever and not come back. And so we've been retooling that scholarship program to focus really on loan paybacks. So as a student goes off to school, if they come back to Van Wert County and they live here and they work within the county, then we would pledge to pay off a portion of their student loans. And so that's a new program for us, but constantly trying to dive into how can we make this a better place for all and attract those back here who love our community.
The Van Wert Area Performing Arts Foundation is an extension of the Van Wert County Foundation. We are provided with funds so that we can make impact with those funds through presenting live entertainment, whether it be the Niswonger Performing Arts Center stage, downtown Fountain Park, and now the grandstand. They provide us with the resources to be able to drive our vision, drive our mission, and make Van Wert a better place to be, and make it so good, in fact, that people come back for more. I would say that the fact that we have live performing arts in such a small town is very rare. It's something that many communities do not have. And that's something that we all have to be proud of. It's also something that would not have happened if it wasn't for the Van Wert County Foundation.
Since April of 2019, we've acquired a little over 50 properties to do a full-scale rehabilitation of our downtown. And that's been really the birth of Van Wert Forward and the initiatives behind that.
Van Wert Forward is this awesome project that we began really in 2019 that is all about rejuvenating and reviving downtown Van Wert.
If you don't grow, you die. And we were seeing evidence of that, not only in our stagnation of population, but with the demise of our buildings and the disrepair of our buildings.
The Van Wert County Foundation is leading a project to basically update the downtown area. That means purchasing buildings that are vacant, purchasing buildings where people maybe wanted to retire and not be in business anymore, like they wanted to get out.
So what we've done is we've said, let's take some of our dollars that are invested on Wall Street and shift it right into our main street and invest into the quality of place in our downtown and in our community.
We're looking at 5 to 7 year process, maybe $100 million in total investment over that time. We're looking at maybe 50 different commercial units and possibly even 100 residential units on the upper floors.
I think we have an opportunity at hand here to literally turn Van Wert around and point it in an entirely new direction. And I think our community will be well served by our efforts.
I was told I have about 30 minutes to talk, but really everything that's been said on the screen tonight just kind of embodies the real work we do. We've, since 1925, have had people who have believed in the future of our community of Van Wert, the philanthropists who over time have given to make sure that every student and every person that lives there has a chance to thrive and succeed and have an awesome quality of life. And so what we do is no different than what each of you are doing in your community, where you love it, you want your families to come back, you want them to have a place to come back. And so tonight with us, we've got a couple staff members, Renee, Hall, and Joel, and there's some others who weren't able to join us tonight, who are just every day doing amazing work to make sure that we have a thriving and well-resourced quality of life in our community. So thank you for this award.
This year's Making a Difference Award winner, LaRoy Martinez, is with me right now. LaRoy, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You know, tell me a little bit about yourself. I read that you are not from around this area.
No, I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. I married a Wauseon, Ohio school teacher, and now I reside in Archbold, Ohio.
And you had a very difficult past from what I'm seeing.
Yes, I did, and it's quite interesting. But the best part is that people change, and I'm here to let people know that it's possible to change.
Tell me a little bit about what allowed you to win this award today. What have you done to make a difference in Northwest Ohio?
It started about 17 years ago, and a lot of people jumped in to help me out. It started with a live ministry, and then somebody got me involved in Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which I am now a board member. The other thing is, too, I was involved with a lot of the jail ministries, CCNO, Juvenile Detention Center. I'm also involved with Bill Glass Prison Ministry, so I get to go to Ohio, Michigan, and other places as well, and I do state and federal prisons. So things change of what happened in my past. I use that now in the future. So mostly with kids. I spend a lot of my times with kids, and what's really strange after I explained all this, what I'm doing right now, I also coach.
There you go. That's a good thing as well. How do we help our kids today survive the world that we're living in?
Listen. Listen. They're told to be quiet or shut up or whatever. So, but if we listen to them, we can help a lot without having to force them to be directed or anything else. But listening has been my favorite, and it seems to be working quite often.
You know what? I don't think we do enough listening. That's right, no matter who we are nowadays.
Touche, exactly.
Congratulations, Leroy. Thank you for your time today and
Pleasure,
all the
sir.
wonderful things you do in Northwest Ohio.
Much obliged. Thank you very much.
Our final recipient tonight is LaRoy Martinez Jr. LaRoy Martinez Jr. was born in the east side of Los Angeles, California in 1951 to a Mexican-American father and a Mexican immigrant mother. In 1953, the family moved to Denver, Colorado, where they lived in government housing. At the age of 8, Leroy joined a local street gang, where he remained a member until age 23. He was arrested several times as a juvenile and as an adult, including 2 felony charges. Leroy's life was turned around following a near-death experience where a rival gang members unsuccessfully tried to shoot him twice, but the gun did not fire. Leroy left the Denver area and attended a Colorado college to study mechanical engineering, trying to better his life. Still battling some inner demons, Leroy met and married Jill Proudfoot, and they moved to Archbold to be closer to her family. He met influential people who helped him overcome his addiction to alcohol and led him to the Lord Jesus Christ, where Leroy confessed his sins and accepted Jesus as his Savior. In 2005, Leroy started a street ministry aimed towards teenagers and young adults from lower income, single-parent family households. The ministry became known as Alive and is in active ministry today, partnering with churches in the Archbold and Pettisville areas. Leroy continues his ministry work with Alive as well as the Gideons. He is a board member of the fellow Christian athletes and member of the Bill Glass Prison Ministries. He conducts Bible studies at CCNO and at the Northwest Ohio Juvenile Detention Center and is also a cross-country coach for the Archbold High Schools. He is currently employed at Dave's Running Shop and participates in marathons and Ironman competitions. LaRoy Martinez Jr. leads by positive example, and he is certainly making a difference in our area.
Ball of energy. The man runs triathlons.
And I don't know if I should say it on camera, but he's old enough that I'm sitting there thinking when he's running marathons and triathlons, I'm going, who in their right mind does that at your age?
He has the spring in his step. He could outrun just about anybody I know, definitely myself.
He's the kind of a guy, you just point him in the direction you want him to go and then get out of his way. Because if you don't, he'll run over you. He had a very unusual background. He was heavy in alcohol, drugs. When they were in Colorado, I began to share with him and to witness with him. And as a result of that, he came to know the Lord and then decided that he wanted to put his faith to work.
I have known Leroy for 32 years, possibly-ish, around there. He sold me a car when he worked at a car dealership. And so I got one of my first cars when I moved to Ohio from Leroy. That's where it all started, in a car dealership. But it grew through ministry in so many different ways.
Leroy and I met back in 2004, and Leroy took a personal interest in me, and we would meet regularly, and he would help me be a part of the Men Alive ministry then.
Leroy and I are just mutual friends. Go to church together, attend the same church, in the Gideons International together, and we just became really good friends some years back.
I think because of Leroy's background and the life choices he made in his life, he recognizes the situations that kids can get into today because he's been there, and so he connects with them immediately. you wouldn't know there's an age gap between Leroy and these kids, the way he works with them and loves on them. And I know especially at Archbold, with the track team and cross country team, he runs with them. He's up every day running with these kids.
Anybody that he starts making a relationship with is going to get changed. They may not know it, they may not realize it, but that's Roy.
Leroy is filled with love. He has this sense to make everyone feel special, to make everyone feel important, appreciated, and the way he embraces you also gives him a street cred, if you would.
He's given so much of his time, volunteered so much, and has never asked for anything in return. He continues to give, and his enjoyment comes to see the growth of an individual. And that's his reward, is to see success.
For Leroy, he's a very humble man. And I think for somebody like himself, he's not out there doing things to receive recognition. He is not putting his name out there for others to know who he is. He just is naturally a person who is compassionate and caring and humble about it all. And so for him, he is making a difference in the lives of so many people, young and old. And he inspires people to be more than who they are.
I found something, I have it on my phone, and I thought, well, this is Leroy. Leroy always prayed to have eyes that see the best in people. He always sees the best. A heart that forgives the worst. It don't matter who you are, Leroy loves you. A mind that forgets the bad. He doesn't bring up the past. And a soul that never loses faith in God.
All I can say, Leroy, is muy bien, mi hermano.
Like you said earlier, maybe we should have this for 30 minutes, but I guess that won't work, so here we go. What a joyful day for all of the award winners. I say thank you to President Dr. Hernandez, the board members of NSCC Foundation, and of course the many hands that prepared the wonderful evening. Robin Wilcox, Foundation Director, wow, great job. My love to pursue came from my family, my beautiful wife Jill, my daughter Kayla, my son-in-law Logan Wise, my son Colton Martinez, daughter-in-law Betsy Martinez, the showering of 5 grand kids. Love it. 17 years ago, I was asked to volunteer, and I made a comment that my plate was not full. I was told that God's plate always has room. So off to the streets to minister the good news. Every Wednesday, I would go to Archbold Ruley Park to one of the 2 basketball courts. Nobody showed up. I was really ready to do something with my Gatorade container filled with water, 3 brand new basketballs, and my Bible. On the 4th week, I noticed that 3 guys were playing basketball at the other court. So I picked up my Gatorade container filled with water, the 3 basketballs, and my Bible, and I walked onto the court. The first one said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I came here to pray for you." And they all took 3 steps back. Then all of a sudden, one of them said, "Are those new basketballs?" And I said, "Yes, they are." And he says, "Can we play with those basketballs?" And I said, "If I can pray for you." That ministry has grown to be more than 200 church and unchurched guys and gals, and that is still going on to this very day. The director of that Alive ministry to this very day, as you've seen on the screen, is Sammy Reyes. I learned to ask for help for many purposes of volunteering. You see, kids were changing in front of my eyes, and yes, so was my life. So a man by the name of John Wilson asked me to join Gideon's. John again asked me to join him at a CC&O, Stryker, Ohio. What's going on here? He's taking me to jail. His friends got me to join him also at Juvenile Detention Center. Then we started going to the state penitentiaries, federal penitentiaries. Then we started going to Kentucky Remember that, John? Yeah. Forgot to tell me that was a maximum security. And then we went to the Ohio and Michigan prisons, and then I became involved with the Bill Glass prison ministry. Coaching came along, Archbold cross country and track. Rachel Sauter-Kinsman, thank you so much for being there for me for the last 18 years coaching. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, what a good combination to work with the school children throughout all of the state of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois. Now I work for an employer, Dave's Running Shop. I get paid to go to universities, college, high schools, many schools throughout the state of Ohio, and I teach good form running. And what's really neat about it, I get paid for it. Everybody has a special person. Everybody has a time period where either they Google or they read a book or whatever. So I was fortunate enough that I had a librarian. Her name is Shirley Gilliard. She's from Archbold Evangelical Church. So for the last 17 years, that woman gave me literature, books, videos, CDs I used for juvenile detention, CCNO. I went to prison ministries and used all this material. This special person who didn't want anything other than to see me go forward. John Wilson, thank you for being that teacher, that mentor, and my friend. Pastor Rex Stump, Buckeye Border, Director, FCI. If you notice what he said, mi hermano. Sammy Reyes, 17 years, my friend. You never left me. We've been with the ministry. We hit the streets. We even had police officers ask us what we were doing, and we were telling them we're out to proclaim who Jesus Christ is. Okay, enjoy your way. Remember the trailers? Yeah, we used to go to the trailer lots. Yeah, that's the only time I was ever protected by the police, by walking through a trailer lot. It used to be the other way around. One more last thing to say. Man cave. Greatest thing I ever stepped into. Pettisville, Ohio. For anybody that's been there, I have to say this, and Sammy taught me this 17 years ago. God is good all the time, all the time. God is good. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty, everybody that was involved, enjoy your God-given days. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I won't talk for 30 minutes because I don't talk that much, but some might disagree. But anyway, what a wonderful evening. The past couple of years has been like no other, with the challenges of the pandemic, which altered the way we live, teach, learn, and work. To say that this has been difficult for all of us has been an understatement. But tonight is such a pleasure that once again we are able to gather this evening to recognize our 2022 Making a Difference Awards recipients. This evening event took a team of hardworking individuals that made our green carpet event come together, and we are very grateful to the college staff, student workers, and volunteers involved in making this an exceptional occasion. Your efforts that were put forth are very much appreciated, and we thank you. Also, the thank you goes out to our entertainment, Carrie Patrick Clark. Your noteworthy performance has added to making this evening enjoyable and very special. And to you, Jim, thank you for helping us out under short notice. Taking the time to be our master of the ceremony has really made this evening memorable, and thank you very much. I think we need to give a big round of applause for everyone tonight that's put this together. Our foundation would like to thank the many individuals and companies who provided sponsorship to our silent auction items for this event. Your support helps contribute to making our evening a success. We would like to recognize a talented group of foundation board members who are exceedingly generous with their time, wisdom, and guidance. These board members who live in our communities that we serve ensure that the foundation remains committed to our mission and guiding principles of helping changing the lives of the many students who attend this great institution. Also, our foundation would not be successful without the leadership and dedication of our foundation director of development, Robin Wilcox. I've had the pleasure of working with Robin for 12 years, and it's an understatement that, that she is so passionate. She is very passionate about the students that attend this college, and she works endless hours to making sure our foundation continues to be focused on doing what is necessary to deliver and support the needs for our students. She just does a tremendous job, and she keeps us in line at the same time. Adriana, thank you so much for sharing your heartfelt story of your personal challenges that you faced. There are so many stories of students just like Adriana with challenges, and each story is unique and personal, and this is the reason our foundation continues to be inspired to work hard, raising dollars, and provide educational opportunities which help students position themselves for success. You are a remarkable person, and we wish you the very best for the future. Keep focused, which I'm sure is not going to be a problem with you, and keep your dreams and continue to work hard, and success will follow. Thank you. Each year in April, our College Foundation hosts an award reception that provides an opportunity for our students to be recognized as they receive scholarships. And it also provides an opportunity for them to meet the donors responsible for investing in their lives. At this year's event, we had the pleasure to hand out a record-breaking amount of over $1,430,450 in scholarship funds, which supports over 300 students that will continue their education. Looking back since 2009, our foundation has provided an astonishing $7,689,136 in scholarships to individuals who live and work in our communities. Being here tonight and supporting our Making a Difference recipients, you continue to help contribute towards providing scholarships. Last year's event, due to COVID, which was much more scaled down, but through the generosity of past and new sponsors, we were still able to raise just under $63,000. Over the past 11 years, we have been honored 33 Making a Difference recipients. These awards are a chance to say thank you and show recognition and appreciation for people who are passionate to make lives better for others. We are so fortunate that our communities are filled with such good people, organizations, and companies, just like tonight's 3 recipients. And Northwest State Community College, along with our foundation, understand it's important to recognize the many that do so much. On behalf of Northwest State Community College Foundation, we congratulate our 2022 Making a Difference Award recipients, Bard Manufacturing, Wert County Foundation, and LaRoy Martinez. The influence that you have made towards the lives of others is so important for our communities and so appreciated. And it is with pleasure that you now are added to the names of a growing list of past recipients, and to name a few: Terry Hendricks, Ford, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram; Norm Zeider, Swanton Welding; Farmers and Merchants State Bank; Farm Bureau, Fulton, Henry, Williams, Defiance Counties; Dental Excellence, Napoleon and Delta; State Bank and Trust Company, Henry County Hospital, the Bryan Area Foundation; Parkview Physicians Group, Ed and Carol Knopfsinger, John Wilson, Erie Solder, the Solder Company, and North Star Blue Scope Steel. Before closing, I have one last thank you to give, and that is to each and every one of you for being part of our evening and supporting this college, but most of all, supporting the students who attend. It is so important that we as a community work together to help the many reach their goals and support the workforce needed in our region. Once again, congratulations to Bard Manufacturing, Wert County Foundation, and Leroy Martinez. You truly are outstanding, compassionate leaders who value the importance of making a difference in many ways for so many people in our communities. Good night.